They say that time is a straight line, but in the world of love, hate, and fate, it's a circle that we can never escape. Every choice has a cost, every hero has a shadow, and every story has a soul. Welcome to Love, Hate, and Fate.
The Blood-Bound Eclipse. Chapter 1. This is the beginning of the Blood-Bound Eclipse. This first chapter establishes the world, the animosity between the two leads, and the system glitch that binds them together. Chapter 1. The weight of zero, care for the politics of the surface. To the sentient, shifting maze of obsidian stone and bioluminescent flora, a human was simply a vessel of essence, a battery to be drained or a seed to be planted. Commander Kaelen Thorne, the sun's wrath, wiped the golden ichor of a level 40 chimera from his brow. His heavy plate armor, etched with the sun heraldry of the Solaris Empire, hummed with the residual heat of his level 65 flame burst.
Clear,
Kaelen barked, his voice echoing through the vaulted chamber of the inner sanctum. Behind him, his squad of sun-sighted knights moved with mechanical precision, securing the perimeter.
the Nightwalker presence was supposed to be heavy here. Where are they?
A shadow detached itself from the ceiling. It didn't fall. It flowed. Lyra, the shadow's edge, landed in a silent crouch atop a fallen pillar. Her dual obsidian daggers hissed as they left their sheaths, the purple void fire licking at the blades. Her level 62 aura was a cold, suffocating weight that pushed back against Kaelen's heat.
Looking for us, solar scum?
Lyra's voice was like velvet over broken glass. Behind her, 3 Nightwalker assassins materialized, their eyes glowing with the pale violet light of the eternal dark.
Lyra!
Kaelen growled, his hand tightening on the hilt of his claymore.
I should have known the rebels would send their most rabid dog to the core.
And the Emperor sent his favorite puppet.
She retorted, her lips curling into a smirk.
Tell me, Kaelen, does it hurt to have his hand so far up your...
The ground shivered. It wasn't a tactical tremor or a spell-cast earthquake. It was the labyrinth itself. The walls of the inner sanctum began to bleed a thick mercury-like liquid. The bioluminescent moss turned a violent, screaming red.
Warning, Labyrinth Core, overload detected. Protocol, recalibration initiated.
The blue system screens that usually hovered near a hunter's vision flickered and turned a jagged, bleeding crimson.
What is this?
Kaelen shouted, bracing his sword in the ground.
This isn't a raid event.
The core! It's collapsing!
Lyra's bravado vanished. She turned to shadow step away, but the shadows refused to take her. The ground beneath them dissolved into a swirling vortex of white light. Kaelen lunged forward, not to save her, but to seize her. If he was going down, he would take the Solaris Empire's greatest enemy with him. His gauntlet closed around her slight wrist, just as the world turned into a deafening roar of static. The Great Reset. Kaelen woke to the sound of dripping water and a sharp, pulsing pain in his chest. His first instinct was to reach for his level. Every hunter could feel their power. The weight of their level 65 stats was usually a comforting mountain of strength. It was gone. He felt hollow, light, like a leaf in a gale.
Get off me!
He realized he was pinned beneath a pile of rubble, and Lyra was pinned beneath him. Her face was inches from his, her hood pushed back to reveal pale skin and hair the color of starlight. Her violet eyes were wide with a terror he had never seen in her. Kaelen pushed himself up, but his arms shook. His legendary strength had vanished. He looked at his wrist. A translucent, glowing golden chain was wrapped around his right forearm, extending 5 feet through the air and coiling tightly around Lyra's left wrist.
System notification. Soul link established. The Eclipse bound. Host. A. Kaelen Thorne. Class. Fallen Sun. Host. B. Lyra of the Void. Class. Lunar Shadow. Current level 0. Current XP 0 over 100.
0?
Kaelen's voice cracked.
Level 0? That's impossible. Even a newborn child is level 1.
Lyra scrambled backward, but the chain snapped taut at 5 feet, jerking her toward him. She hit his chest with a dull thud.
Break it! Use your flame burst and melt the damn thing!
Kaelen tried. He reached for the sunfire in his gut, the inferno that could incinerate a city block. He found only a tiny, pathetic spark that sputtered and died.
I can't.
He whispered, horrified.
The system, it's reset us. Everything. The skills, the stats, the gear.
He looked down. His ornate golden plate armor was gone, replaced by a simple, rugged linen tunic and leather trousers. The novice gear of a level 0. Lyra was dressed in similar gray rags.
You did this!
Lyra hissed, her fingers clawing at the golden chain.
You grabbed me! You glitched the soul link!
I was trying to arrest you.
Well, congratulations, Commander. You've arrested us both in a tomb.
A low, guttural growl echoed from the shadows of the cave. A set of glowing red eyes emerged. A labyrinth rat. Usually a joke to a high ranker, a creature they would step on without noticing. But this rat was the size of a wolf, and its level hovered above its head. Level 3. To a level 0, it was a god of death.
Lyra?
Kaelen said, his voice dropping as he felt a cold sweat break out.
Do you have your daggers?
She reached for her belt. Her obsidian blades were gone. In their place sat a single rusted iron shiv.
I have a butter knife. You?
Kaelen looked at the ground. A blunt, heavy training sword made of rotted wood lay near his hand. The rat lunged. Kaelen acted on instinct. He didn't have his speed, but he had 10 years of combat muscle memory. He swung the wooden sword, catching the rat in the ribs. The impact sent a jolt of pain up his arm that nearly made him vomit.
System ping, shared damage.
Lyra let out a sharp cry, clutching her ribs in the exact same spot Kaelen had felt the recoil.
What was that?
She gasped.
The link!
Kaelen realized, his heart hammering.
I feel your pain. You feel mine. If that thing bites me, you bleed.
The rat recovered, bearing yellowed incisors. It prepared to spring again.
We have to kill it together,
Kaelen said, holding the wooden sword out.
If we don't, we die together. 1, 2.
I hate you so much!
Lyra spat, but she crouched low, her rusted shiv held in a reverse grip.
3.
Kaelen took the brunt of the charge, using the wooden sword to block the rat's snapping jaws. The weight nearly crushed him. Lyra dived under Kaelen's arm, the chain between them whipping through the air, and drove the rusted shiv into the rat's throat. The creature thrashed, its claws raking across Kaelen's leather-clad shoulder. Kaelen screamed as the skin tore. Lyra screamed too, falling to her knees as identical bloody gashes appeared on her own shoulder. With a final, desperate roar, Kaelen slammed his wooden sword down on the shiv's handle, driving it deeper. The rat shuddered and dissolved into black ash.
Experience gained, 100 exp. Level up. Kaelen, level 0 to 1. Lyra, level 0 to 1. Stat points awarded, 5. New skill, unlocked, forced proximity, passive. Description. When within 3 feet of your partner, strength is increased by 10%.
The golden chain glowed briefly, then dimmed. The wounds on their shoulders didn't disappear, but the agonizing sting faded into a dull throb. Kaelen sat back against the damp stone wall, gasping for air. He looked at Lyra. Her starlight hair was matted with dirt, and she was staring at her shaking hands.
Level 1.
She whispered.
I was a shadow master. I could walk through walls. I could kill a king in a crowded room.
I was the sun's wrath,
Kaelen said, his voice hollow.
I commanded legions.
He looked at the golden chain connecting them. It was a physical manifestation of their new reality. They weren't enemies anymore. They weren't even individuals. They were two halves of a single broken unit.
We can't go back.
Kaelen said, looking toward the dark tunnel that led deeper into the labyrinth.
If my men see me like this, they'll think I'm an imposter. If your rebels see you, they'll kill you for being sun-touched by this chain.
Lyra looked at the tunnel, then back at him. The hatred was still there, deep and burning, but beneath it was the cold, hard logic of a survivor.
We level up.
She said, her voice trembling but firm. We climb this hellish maze, we find the core, and we force the system to give us our lives back. She held up her hand, the chain rattling.
But if you try to lead, Commander, I'll use this chain to strangle you in your sleep.
Kaelen stood up, offering no hand to help her. He gripped his wooden sword.
And if you try to slip away into the shadows, I'll drag you back into the light. Move. The Rats Pack will be here soon.
They stepped into the darkness, two enemies bound by a single soul, beginning a journey where the only way to survive was to stay close enough to hear each other's hearts beat. To be continued.
Obsidian halls, the red moss screaming system glitch. Now my stats are zero. Got this chain connecting my soul to an enemy hero. Level up or the Rat Pack eats us both alive. Can't solo this dungeon, guess we gotta share the strife. We gotta share the strife. Gotta share the strife.
The clock may have stopped for today, but the cycle continues. If you felt the love, shared the hate, or just want to see where fate takes us next, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Until the next chapter, thank you for watching Love, Hate, and Fate, and being part of the story.